coming from Muslims. I'm sorry to tell you there is history. Colonialism, dictatorship. Who is supporting dictatorships now? And who is supporting people who are telling you, at the end of the day, Muslims should not live with freedom? We are ready to talk about freedom in peripheral countries. What about the Gulf states? Why don't we want democracy there? Because I think that if you want to challenge violence with the ordinary Muslims, or ordinary people, Muslims and people of other faiths, because it's not only coming from Muslims, we have to go very far in the critical discussion about our political inconsistency in the West.
Okay.
Let us put it that way.
One thing, the notion that you've mentioned, the issue of living together, which is very important. If you've just joined us, you're listening to a special program on the BBC World Service as part of the BBC Democracy Day across all our output. This program is discussing Islam and democracy. We're well into our discussion, some lively debate, but Tariq, this idea of living together, we can all agree that the violence that comes out of these Islamist militants is coming out of a minority, a very violent minority that caused great damage. But the other issue is that of the discourse, that there is an isolationist discourse within the Muslim community in the West, that there is a mentality of them and us, of believers and non-believers. And that is really the crux of the problem, is for many young Muslims in the West, they feel that there is a barrier between their identity as Muslims and where they live.
You are right, it's happening, and this is why 15 years ago I called for a new we, meaning in Europe. We, meaning you, me, people of other faiths, we have to come with a we where we are not falling into the trap and us versus them.
But it has worked.
It's working, and this is the problem. Don't be mistaken or fooled by a tiny minority of people nurturing this binary vision, this us versus them, and forgetting the immense majority of Western Muslims who are abiding by the rules, citizens, and not only integrating it, they are contributing to the society. I would like my fellow European citizens to understand that we are also an added value. We are not only here as a problem.
Let me just give you two examples of what's happening now in real life. You've got channels, fully dedicated Islamic channels that come out of London, that come out of the West, that only spread that kind of discourse. But also, we speak about young people. Young people are not listening to imams in the mosques. They're going online to speak to other imams, to speak to other people who spread that isolationist mentality.
Let me react to this, because you are right, but the great majority are not doing this, and it means for us now, as a responsibility of Western Muslims, we have to institutionalize our presence in the West. We need institutions to train our imams, to get 4 types of independence: religious independence, financial independence, intellectual independence, and cultural independence, to be able to live here. And this process should come out of our own endeavor. This is what the Muslims should do. But the problem is that if we keep on repeating, because we have violent extremists, that all the Muslims are not doing the job, in fact you fall into the trap that they want. They want us to think we are not at home, and we are saying, no, it's working. So let us take the great majority of the Muslims who are European Muslims and build with them, and not being mistaken by the tiny minority.
Let's hear from Heba and then Shubra. Heba, please.
There is something that I was thinking about when you were talking, which is actually the paradox of giving the beginning of the discussion was that General Sisi was asking, or Field Marshal Sisi was asking people to reform religion. And it's interesting that the same state is actually the state that has charged a person with atheism, and he's imprisoned now a few days ago.
Yes.
And also there has been a case of attacking a hammam,